Talking about giving your head a wobble. Talking about giving your head a fucking wobble. Have you guys seen this? Taylor Swift got engaged. Yes, you heard. Taylor Swift got engaged to a NFL, American football sweetheart, Travis Kelce. They finally tied the knot. And yeah, it feels like the most least organic thing I've seen in my entire life. But it's still really beautiful in its own way. You know? It feels very rehearsed. It feels very intentional. It feels very put together. It feels very planned. Right? It feels like it's one of those rare engagements where both people are aware it's happening. You know, usually with engagements, like, you know, the wife to be super surprised. It come out of the blue. You know, there's a intention for it to be a surprise when it comes to an engagement. I think this is one of those engagements where Travis Kelce had to like contact Taylor Swift's fucking assistant, had to contact Taylor Swift's management company, had to contact Taylor Swift's fucking publishers, you know, whatever, you know. He had to go through some legal channels before he could actually officially fucking propose to her, which made her aware of it, hence kind of getting rid of the fucking surprise. But regardless of it, as much as I don't love love for myself, as much as I don't care about marriage for myself, as much as I don't really care about kids for myself, I do have this weird thing where when I go to weddings, which I've only been to a couple in the last few years, I am sobbing. When I go to weddings, if you ever invite me to your wedding, dear listener, I don't even fucking know you. If you invite me to your wedding and I'm sitting in there, I'm crying like a fucking baby. So as much as I don't like weddings for myself, marriage for myself, kids for myself, I fucking love seeing people in love. Weirdly enough. That's one of my little weird soft spots I have. Maybe it's because I grew up on fucking Disney cartoons and shit. But seeing people in love, seeing people in that fucking holy matrimony, seeing people locked in that way, especially because I live a life, you know, that's not like this, you know? Seeing people locked in that way is like, wow, you know? Like, shit, man. They've made like the ultimate decision. Like, look at them in love. Look at them synced up. Look at them on a safe fucking wavelength. Because even I, right? I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I'm not the biggest watcher of the NFL or fan of Travis Kelce's. But even I've noticed over the last couple of years that Travis Kelce has kind of changed his personality. Have you guys noticed that? Have you guys noticed he's kind of changed? Like, I feel like Travis Kelce's kind of, I wouldn't say he's neutered himself, but he seems a lot more like, you know, I don't know. But I guess what happens when you're in love, he's kind of like matched her vibe a little bit. He's not like, even his look obviously is different. He definitely looks more Caucasian now, but his energy is different. Like, he doesn't, you know, he kind of carries himself in a different way, which I think you're meant to do when you're really in sync with your person, when you're really in sync with your wife to be. You're meant to be in that kind of way. You're meant to be her biggest supporter, her biggest fan, but you're also meant to be like, you know, people, when you're really locked in with somebody, people should sometimes mistaken that you think they think you're siblings. As weird as that may sound. When you're really in love, when you're really locked in with somebody, people should be looking from the outside and thinking, oh, are you guys related? You know what I mean? Or you should even have the same mannerisms, have the same speech pattern. You know what I mean? Like, it should be that's how locked in you should be. So it's kind of sick to see him like be in that kind of way. So big up him for that. The pictures look fucking sick, right? They took this really, you know, the captions fucking cringe as hell, don't get me wrong. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married, like, gross. And imagine as well, if you read Taylor Swift's lyrics, you'd imagine like, English teacher, you know, you're pushing it, babe. But still, beautiful pictures, you know, seeing them all loved up and shit. The engagement ring is blonks, right? The engagement ring is fucking heavy. Don't get me wrong, it's not as heavy as fucking Georgina, right? Ronaldo's girl. Her ring was fucking brazy. But it's still a beautiful, 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 beautiful engagement ring there. I'm not sure why he didn't get one, to be honest. I don't know why. Why don't men get engagement rings, by the way? Huh? Can someone explain that? Why don't men get engagement rings? Why don't men get engagement rings? Women get all the engagement rings. Women get the weddings. Women get all this fucking big shit. Why don't men get what? Where's my ring? Huh? Motherfuckers. Yeah, so really beautiful pictures, really nice things to see there. So congratulations to them. I'm assuming the wedding is going to be a fucking bonanza, right? I'm assuming the wedding is going to be fucking a bonanza. I can just imagine the amount of people that are going to be performing there, the fucking opulence of it, the showness of it. But the rollout of this engagement is kind of nasty, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie. Being a celebrity is kind of wild because I feel like this has been a long time coming. Ever since she appeared on the fucking field, ever since they started dating, ever since her first appearance on Travis Kelce's podcast, the album announcement, this has all felt like it's a part of the rollout. This wedding or this engagement announcement feels like it was noted on somebody's fucking content calendar. Some social marketing person, growth hacking person, head of marketing person definitely has this announcement on their fucking content calendar, for sure. That's the only gross bit about it. It feels very rehearsed, very manufactured. But again, with a celebrity at the level of Taylor Swift, you kind of have to do that. Do you know what I mean? Because she's a fucking megastar. For whatever reason as well, by the way, which also doesn't make sense to me. I've done the thing that I think most of you guys have done there, where I spent some time listening to her fucking discography, and I just couldn't get it, man. I just don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. I don't get it because it sounds terrible objectively. I listened to every single one of her albums 1 year. I think it was during COVID, actually. I think it was during COVID. I went through her entire discography, and I couldn't find not one slap, all fucking dog shit. But she's super fucking huge. This is before I think the Eras tour as well. That was, super well received and amazing kind of sales and shit. But one thing that also made me feel like when I listened to Taylor Swift's music was that I think Taylor Swift being as mediocre as she is, but also being an incredibly big star, I think is more a reflection of the era we live in, of the times we live in. Like the most mediocre, mundane of shit is being kind of lifted up onto a platform that it probably should never be on, So it's not necessarily her fault. She's just a victim of her time that she's living in. I think if she lived in another era, people wouldn't care about her as much. But I feel like nowadays, because there's a dearth of anything available, any kind of stars, people kind of lift up the most mediocre of shit. And if we're honest, if she wasn't around, there'd be no one to take her place anyway. She kind of fills a particular need, a particular niche. The fans that like her because of particular. It's like a Lana Del Rey type of thing. You might not like it, Adele, I might not like it, but people like it for what they actually do. And without them, music would be far worse for it. Fandom will be far worse for it. But I don't know. You listen to it honestly. If you go into Taylor Swift with an open mind like I do, maybe being a DJ, I kind of always keep my ear open to everything. I listen to all genres. I'm one of those kind of annoying people. But I tried, man. I really fucking tried. And everything sounds terrible. Everything sounds fucking terrible. Everything sounds like fucking Urban Outfitters music, Top Shop music. You get me? Like Subway music. No, forget Subway music. Taylor Swift music sounds like shit you'd hear when you're ordering a footlong in Subway. I swear to God. Garbage shit, but she's become incredibly successful for it. One thing that I've always thought that's interesting about her, I don't know if I'm off on this, but I have a feeling Taylor's going to go through one of those like Ellen moments. I feel like she presents herself as, I wouldn't say a girl's girl, but she comes across as kind, as well-mannered, as personable, as loving and shit. I think she's the type of artist that says, I love you to her fans. Maybe because I make content myself, but I think there's something very malicious, there's something very malevolent, there's something very skullduggery, there's something very conniving, there's something very manipulative about people, artists, whatever, who are very loose and fast with the I love you guys. That weird encouragement of the parasocial shit, That it's one thing to kind of dabble in it a little bit for the likes and the views, but that kind of like trying to act like you are their friend when you're not, trying to act like you give a shit about them when you really don't, try to make it seem like you're just a girl next door when you're the girl in the fucking ivory tower. I feel like she's gonna have an Ella moment. I don't think the way that she presents herself in public is how she really is in private. I think this woman's a tyrant. I think, because again, think of the business that she runs. Think of the money that she generates. I don't think this is the kind of lady that, I don't think this kind of lady that's kind behind the scenes. I just don't think so. I think there's a real bully. There's a real tyrant there. People give women like Gwyneth Paltrow a lot of stick. But I think she's probably worse than Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow's just a bit weird, isn't it? Gwyneth Paltrow's just like, I don't know. What's she? Female Joe Rogan. I think Taylor Swift is going to have a moment where her career maybe comes tumbling down when people realize that she's really mean. Really mean. There's something about it. But she's a good actor because she puts on a very kind face. She got soft features. She's very softly spoken. She cries when she gets her masters back, you know? But I think there's something very nasty there. Not sure what it is. Not sure if it's true. I could be talking out my ass. But I think Taylor Swift is evil. I think Taylor Swift is worse than Benjamin Netanyahu. That's why I said it. I think Taylor Swift is worse than Azalea Banks. I think Taylor Swift is worse than DDG. There, I said it. I think she's the fucking worst. So I think you're going to hear a lot of bad shit about her coming up very soon. You just need to keep your ear open. And when it happens, please give me some credit. Please give me some credit.